predictability. The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. Did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me, please. This old world confusing me. Clouds as mean as you ever see. Ain't a bird who knows you're true. Then a little voice inside you whispers, don't sell your dreams so soon. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a face of somebody who needs you.
Hey, what'd you get on number 4?
I got your mom.
Yeah, me too.
What did you get for 7?
Oh, your dad.
This reminds me of that one time.
Hey, Jacob, what's the answer to number 5? Owen, Brent, Daniel, boys! Has this ever happened to you? Man, I just love remembering back in my school days.
Mr. Sun. Cause good old Sun loves going on his stories and stuff, and I love interesting like stories he has, and I just enjoy listening to him.
I don't learn from any of them, you know. I just kind of forget.
I learn from Strider the most, and it's just because she's really informative and super smart.
Probably Mrs. Tussing because she made me better at writing.
I learned from Mr. Yoakum the most because he just gives a lot of life advice unsolicitedly.
Probably Mr. Yoakum. He really taught me how to study and buckle down.
Mr. Yoakum taught me a new language.
Mr. Sun. I look forward to Mr. Sun every day. He always got something new talked about, and I always do.
Mr. Tenet, probably because he's funny, he's laid back.
Probably Dukowitz or Wygant. I enjoy talking to Dukowitz because she's really fun and gives great advice, and then Wygant's just like nice to talk to.
Probably Mrs. Dukowitz. Random and it's fun.
For sure, Mr. Yoakum, because he's always in a great mood, ready to teach us.
It's gotta be Mr. Yoakum because he always gives us almonds.
Mr. Yoakum always tries to crack a joke.
Are you in his class?
Last year.
Okay, you probably think I'm gonna say Mr. Sun. No. Last year, Mr. Dunn's class, his Halloween festival, man. He put a pumpkin in there and put some gunpowder or something like that. It just exploded. It was really interesting.
In 8th grade, it was like the last day of school and there was a dodgeball tournament. There was 2 kids and one of them cheated or something and they got really mad, so the other started pulling on the other one's hair, and then he started crying and they both got suspended, and it was funny.
It was back in 7th grade when I had Mrs. Berg. James Bennett was acting a little crazy and spasmodic. Mrs. Berg looks at him and yells at him like jokingly. She's like, "I don't get paid enough for this," and then exits the classroom, and that was really funny.
Probably Mr. Burden throwing expo markers and them like exploding.
Me and some of my students, we had this empty spot. There was an empty spot on my wall. Hey, Mr. Yoakum, you should have a couch in here. And I always just kind of said, cool, if you guys want to do that, that's fine. But you know, and kind of was always just a joke until I walked into the classroom one day and that's the actual class. They're now Spanish 3 students. So they actually bought a couch, a used couch, but a very nice used couch. And I walked into the classroom last year one morning and there was a couch sitting in the classroom. It was pretty funny.
Hey Jacob, what you doing?
Playing Pokemon.
Usually till about 3 to 5 minutes to step back, really think about what you're doing. Sometimes you need that kind of procrastination to sit back and realize what you're getting into.
If I get a couple weeks for an assignment, probably the night before, or a couple of days before. Probably the night before.
I give myself enough time to get the job done.
It really just depends on what it is that I'm procrastinating about. If I'm grading like homework assignments or like lab assignments or something like that, then I give myself a little bit more time, but I don't procrastinate on quizzes and tests. I usually do those right away.
I usually procrastinate on math the most. It's not that it's really hard, it's just that it kind of gets boring. You can be sitting there, you know, real long questions, and it gets really, really long and really boring. So.
Chem packets. English.
Things that I feel are insignificant. So, for example, some students get angry when I don't have their grades put in the same day that they did an assignment, but if it's worth 5 to 10 points, that's not going to affect their grade or their life in any way. So those are the kinds of things that I push off as a teacher.
I became a procrastinator because math is hard and it's not the easiest to understand, so it kind of takes time out of the class period to do what you want.
Because sometimes I just don't care. I just stopped caring.
I started to prioritize things when I was in college. I was going to school full-time, working part-time, and coaching soccer at the same time, so it became a balance of what actually needs to be done and what could be done later.
I think everybody to some extent is a procrastinator. I think that it's just different degrees of procrastination and whatever, you know, if it's something that you're interested in, then obviously you don't procrastinate on it, but if you're not interested in it, then you probably spend a little bit more time waiting around trying to figure out, you know, when you're going to do it.
7th grade year, I had a project. It was due 2 class periods once I first got into school, and I had maybe an hour and a half to do it. Hardly got it done.
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago, I had a college math paper due at 11:59, and I started it at about 10:30, and I didn't have all the information, so I got an F on the paper.
There were a few times in college where I waited until the very last minute to write a paper, to do some kind of assignment. There were a couple times where I had to pull all-nighters, which I know is kind of like a rite of passage in college, but it's not fun and it's not worth it.
I mean, I've had instances where I have waited just long enough. I've never really missed a deadline, but I have definitely gotten to the very last minute. So.
Dylan, what are you doing? Get to your work.
I visited the OSU/OSU Lima booth, the UC booth, and I'm working my way over to the University of Finley booth.
I visited BGSU.
Bowling Green University.
I visited the University of Finley.
I learned that OSU's only prerequisite to be transferred to main campus is to go to OSU Lima or another regional campus for a year and then move over.
I learned that they offer my major and that it's a pretty easy school to get into.
That their soccer team is ranked 17th in the nation in their division. He did tell us the campus wasn't pretty. He did say that we would get chicks though.
Yeah.
That's true. Lots of girls there, he told us.
Right off the bat, day one, they actually go out to the barn and start working with animals, which is pretty cool.
College is pretty helpful because I get to get in contact with people that I wouldn't normally get to see. I get to meet representatives and try to make a good first impression. Potentially raise my name on the list of applicants.
It's really opened up my mind about the colleges and what career field I want to go into.
So far,
I still don't know what college I'm going to.
Yeah, I've already decided on my top 3 that aren't in Ohio, so. But we get out of the Spanish test.
That helped me plan out where I plan to go within the next couple of years and everything. anything?
I went to ONU. I learned a lot about their campus. They have a great campus, a lot of great programs I can take, and it's a solid option, I think.
I think it's a good thing that we're doing it as juniors and seniors, since the senior class this year didn't get to do it as juniors last year.
Take advantage of it if you do want to go to a college in Ohio, because they're all here, like a ton of them.
It seems fun, so.
Learned a lot of different places I could go to and many options I can do for my future.
With homecoming just around the corner, there are all kinds of activities going on. Girls are worried about their dresses, their hair, their makeup, where they're gonna eat, what they're gonna do after, and how the dance is gonna go. Guys are worried about, is my tie gonna match? Am I gonna get the flowers in time? And how much is this date gonna hurt my pocket? So we're gonna go around and we're gonna talk to some guys and some girls and see just how much they think they should spend on their homecoming date.
Have you ever been on a really cheap date?
Yeah, it was good. Didn't have to spend that much money and still had a good time.
I went to Taco Bell and it was fun.
Personally, I've never been on a cheap date myself. I feel like it'd be something I want to try, but I don't know.
Have you ever been on a really cheap date before?
No.
We've got sushi and stayed at home.
How much money should be spent on your homecoming date?
I'd say no more than like $50.
I don't think that much personally.
I think probably for them, no more than $50. $50 would probably be the limit. It's homecoming, not prom. About $5.
Like 50 bucks?
I don't think it really matters, as long as you have a good time.
Is fast food for your homecoming date okay?
Not for homecoming, but for other dates.
Yes. McDonald's.
I don't think so, honestly.
Yeah, I would say so.
We did that last year because we didn't have time, so yeah.
Would you rather go on a cheap date or an expensive sit-down dinner?
Definitely cheaper.
I don't really care.
Probably expensive date, since I save all my money and buy like nothing for myself, so I'd probably go on an expensive date.
Cheap date. Taco Bell all the way.
Cheap and simple.
Expensive so you get better food.
Want to see how animals eat their food?